Hello, my name is Mark Boney. Today's date is May 4th, 2024, and it is class FTH 212 striker fires. We're going to be performing a field strip, inspecting the firearm, inspecting functions for troubleshooting and issues. So, first of all, we'll start with the magazine. What you're inspecting on here is the follower, the feed lips, the mag locks. You want to make sure that everything functions properly, it's not damaged. You can see that by pushing on the spring, the follower comes up after a release. If there was damage to the spring, as far as it just being a weak spring, a broken spring, what have you, you can just replace that. Follower's damage, you can just replace that. Weak spring damage would cause the issue in feeding and chambering. It wouldn't allow the follower to push the next round up properly, could cause some jams. So you just replace those parts that are broken. Sorry about moving around. Then we got the striker fire, the PSA dagger. Got the slide lock open, the slide open to the rear and locked, finger in, nothing in the chamber, nothing in the mag well, all the way down, it's free and clear. Let's get it apart. Bear with me. I'll start with the frame. Alright, another sub-assembly plus the mag sub-assembly. You want to check your pins or pinholes, your frame. Make sure that there's no damages, nothing's cracked out, nothing's broken, everything's fit nice and flush. Check your takedown lever, pull it down, I release it, make sure it functions, springs back up into place properly. Want to check the rails, slide rails, front and back. Make sure they're free of burrs, smooth. You want to check and make sure that the trigger safety functions properly, the trigger functions properly, get it set, push on the trigger, nothing happens, apply pressure to the trigger safety, releases, everything functions properly there. Check out the trigger bar, make sure it's smooth, make sure there's no burrs on that. Same with the sear disconnectors, you want to make sure that all that is free of burrs and they're smooth. Smoother the better. Smooth operation, buddy. You want to check the ejector. Make sure it's not damaged. Make sure it's not broken. If it's broken, it's not going to eject around properly. If it's damaged, bent, might not eject the spent round properly and cause a feeding issue, a jam, or what have you. So just make sure that's in good shape as well, and that everything is nice and smooth. That is. So then we'll move on to the guide rod recoil spring, another sub-assembly of this firearm. Again, you could probably unscrew this, take the spring off, check, make sure there's no burrs on the guide rod itself. Make sure the back of the guide rod is nice and smooth, the front is nice and smooth, there's no deformations there. Anything wrong with the recoil spring guide rod that could cause recoil issues. Might be a weak spring, wouldn't allow the slide to recoil properly or allow it to feed around properly either. Another thing you can do is you can take the mag, stick it in with nothing in the mag to check the function of the mag release. Make sure that's working. I forgot to mention that. Make sure that spring's back in place. If it doesn't spring, you probably need to replace the spring inside. It may be out of place somehow, or it might be broken. So make sure that works out properly too. Another sub-assembly according to the school is the barrel. You want to check, make sure it's straight. You want to check the crown, make sure that's nice and flush, smooth. You want to check your locking surfaces, top and bottom. I'll do it like this, bottom, top. Make sure those locking surfaces are nice and sharp, smooth, no burrs or anything. Make sure everything around the chamber's nice and smooth. The feed ramp, you want a smooth feed ramp, no burrs on that. That can cause some feeding issues if there were burrs. Might not be big, might not be major, but it could. Want to check the rifling, make sure that the rifling is in good condition, and the overall health of the barrel. Straight, no dents, no bulges. You got the slide, another subassembly. You want to check your sights, front, rear, front. Make sure that they're not broken, that they're seated properly, and just the overall health of them. Check the slide port here, make sure everything is nice and smooth and sharp. Helps with the locking of the barrel and the ejecting and extracting of the rounds as well. Want to lift up on the striker, get it set. Make sure you can't push that down and have the pin come through the frame without pressing the striker safety. I press that, and then I can push that pin forward, and it protrudes through there. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's right there. And then I'll pull it up out of the way, and you just heard that click. That means it's in place. The slide bearing, make sure everything is smooth. The rails, make sure there's no burrs. Burrs can cause issues with the slide not operating properly. So you just want to make sure that everything operates as smoothly as possible. The smoother the better. Then we got the go gauge. We're going to check our headspace. We'll put the go gauge in the barrel. We'll take the barrel, we'll put it in the slide, and put the round in the go gauge in the extractor, and everything seats properly. Everything has a nice smooth fit. It's flush. No play in there. Can't move it back and forth, but man, that's tight. So you want to make sure that that operates, that's good. With that go gauge being like it is, lets me know that my go gauge headspace is good. You take the no go gauge, do the same thing. Put it in the chamber of the barrel, put the barrel in play, slide that down in place, and it doesn't fit. It won't let it sit in there properly. The barrel is not locked into place, which tells me my headspace is good. The go gauge doesn't work in the chamber, lets me know that my dimensions are proper. If the go gauge had play, fit, would seat in there and allow the barrel to sit down like it should with the go gauge, then you have too much headspace. And then what you can do is you can take blue painter tape, put a piece on the back, tap it with a hammer to cut the outline of the headspace diameter there, and test again. If it still has play, still seats everything, put another piece. Keep doing that until it does not work properly. Then you can find out how much play was in there, how much of a headspace gap that you had that wasn't proper, just by measuring the pieces of tape that you had on there. And I believe painter's tape is like 0.002 inches, so that would give you a thickness of how much out of specs it is. And with that, as far as repair goes, you probably just have to replace the barrel, maybe the slide, maybe both, or maybe just the slide. As far as my readiness to do this on somebody else's gun, I could inspect it. I feel I've got the knowledge to, I've got the resources to guide me on doing that. As far as doing some of the repairs, anything with the barrel right now, I think I would need assistance with it. I'd probably just tell the customer, hey, I think it's best that you just replace the barrel just because of this issue, or send it to a gunsmith that could fix a barrel or be able to repair a barrel properly. Right now I don't have the knowledge or the capabilities to do any barrel repairs, so I'd probably either replace the barrel or send him somewhere else that could repair it if repair was an option. So with that, like I said, I feel I could do this on my own. I've got the resources and the know how to find out information if needed for issues. With that being said, that will conclude this video, and we will see you next week. Thank you.